Welcome to Midway Stadium in St. Paul for the State Class 3A Baseball Tournament quarterfinal round action. The Armstrong Falcons back in the tournament for a fourth time. They will take on the champion of Section 2, the Eden Prairie Eagles, in their 9th state tournament appearance. Eden Prairie is the home team, so Armstrong will get a chance with the bats first, and Brian Sobiak will send up this lineup today. For the Falcons, Corey Gilbert, the left fielder, leads it off. Josh Thorpe at second base hitting second. Troy Ouellette in right field hits third. Matt Bachmeyer at third base hitting fourth. Jack Wibben in center hits fifth. The pitcher, Jordan Kuznia, hits sixth. John Nelson, the DH, hitting seventh. Jake Wessner at first base in the eighth slot. And Ricky Reed, the shortstop, bats ninth. And defensively for Eden Prairie and Coach John Butine, got Michael Parrish at third base. The shortstop is Ryan Zimmerman. At second base is Josh Wassenauer. And over at first base is Jeff Athey. In the outfield, in left field for the Eagles, Jack Sullivan. In center field, Mark Gasner. And in right field, it is Matt Cheeseman. Behind the plate is Jack Clays. And doing the pitching for Eden Prairie today is one of their kind of co-aces. They've had a couple of guys who had really good years. Corey Binger, the right-hander. See Corey warming up. A record of 5-1, a 1.48 ERA. He's fanned 49 batters in 48 2/3 innings, so almost exactly one strikeout per inning. He's going to pitch at Nebraska Omaha next season, so definitely a challenge, but Armstrong hoping that they are up to it here as the Falcons. Both teams went through their sections undefeated. I'm Jay Wilcox. Drew Keough joins me for the broadcast. And Drew, this kind of a, I don't know if you could call it a huge surprise, but a little bit of a surprise at Armstrong with a very young team that didn't start very fast this year, now finding themselves in the final 8.
Yeah, Jay, kind of two different teams here. Eden Prairie had a great season last year, had a great Legion season, winning the state tournament, and again this year having a good solid regular season. Armstrong started off slow, but they finished strong, and now they're both facing off in the first round of the state tournament.
Here's Corey Gilbert stepping in. He takes a first pitch strike. Corey at .341 for the year, .372 on base percentage. He has scored 11 runs. Some speed in this Armstrong lineup. Not a lot of big bats, but a team that put the ball in play and run a little bit and try and create some havoc. But first you have to get on base here, and Binger's going to try and make sure that doesn't happen here as he faces Gilbert. Just outside with that one. Coach Butine was telling me that he has good command, and he works the ball inside well, although he said that might be negated a little bit by how many left-hand batters that Armstrong has. Not quite as much of a weapon to be able to come inside as it would be against a right-hand hitter.
Good job here by Gilbert to keep the at-bat alive. You know, facing it off against one of the top two pitchers for Eden Prairie. As you said, they have two aces. Doesn't matter which one they throw out, but it's nice to work the count here in the first at-bat.
And he continues to fight him off there. There's a look at Brian Sobiak, the Falcons head coach. Excited with what his group has done. He said, we've got a lot of guys that just know their roles, that there's going to be something that they can do to help the team, whether it be get a bunt down or just play solid defense or steal a base, and you know, kind of an exciting thing to see a group like this come through. They do have a lot of youth in their team.
Good start to the game here. Double train, not a common thing here at Midway. It's a good start.
A little crisscross action out there beyond the center field fence. Little tapper down to second. Wassenaar up with it, and he throws the first. Gilbert is retired 4-3, so first batter of the game goes out on a bouncer to second.
Still a good at bat. You know, put the ball in play, make Eden Prairie make the play, and that's what we saw Armstrong do in their sections. You know, they had a fundamentally sound section play, put the ball in play, and as you said, they like to get on base and make things happen, force the issue, and see what they can do when they're on base. But first, you got to get on base.
There's a look at Josh Thorpe, the sophomore second baseman. Josh, one of 3 Armstrong players who got to play in the Little League World Series with Plymouth New Hope back 4 years ago. Lifting one down the right field line, and it is just foul. Josh had a real good year as a sophomore. .444 batting average, .468 on base percentage. He's knocked in 12, 4 doubles, couple of triples, 20 runs scored, which is a team high figure. So he's definitely done the job with the bat and with the glove for Armstrong. Oh, and that one's off his helmet. Thorpe will head down to first base. Doesn't appear to be any of the worse for wear there, but
great reaction to turn that head at the last second. I mean, if he opens up his shoulder, that could be really ugly. But fortunately, he hit him in the top of the helmet and kind of grazed the visor and did not go towards his face area, which would not have been good. But thank gosh for that helmet.
Umpires checking things out just to make sure that he's all right, but it appeared to be, if there is such a thing, just kind of a glancing blow. We could hear it up here, but it didn't really hit him square in the side of the head, the temple area either.
Yeah, Binger seems to have a little bit of a tail on that fastball, and that one came in on the batter and hit him up in the head.
Troy Ouellette stepping in, bluffing as if the bunt takes it for a ball. Ouellette hitting at .351. 19 scored, 17 driven in for the Falcons, 4 doubles, a triple, a home run. Had a pretty good section tournament and a pretty good year overall. Also has had a number of assists from the outfield. We saw one, in fact, against Benilde over at Parade Stadium where he helped nip a potential rally in the bud early on in that first meeting between Armstrong and Benilde. And, you know, it was kind of a big play in that game, really, as it turned out. They helped them to get out of an inning without having Benilde really start to get a rally going. Popped up, and it's going to be just out of play, in fact, on top of the Armstrong dugout.
Now Thorpe over at first base not getting the biggest lead, but he's trying to play games and keep Binger paying attention to him over there. And if he can keep his focus alternating between the batter and at first base, you know, that's a win for the base runner and win for Armstrong.
Falcons, Thorpe with 6 steals on the year. They're not a team with maybe as many steals as I would have thought, but they do have multiple guys who run occasionally. Here's a high chopper to short. Might be a tough play. Throw to first base, not in time, and Ouellette will beat it out. Infield single, just chopping it off that dirt in front of home plate there, and coming on was Zimmerman.
Yeah, that high hop off the infield dirt gave that ball some altitude, and then the soft hop on the grass allowed forced the shortstop to take it on a hop. If he charges that and takes it coming down, he might have a play at first, but either way, the speed is what Armstrong has shown off here early in the game.
So scored as an infield hit for Ouellette. Bachmeyer will be the batter now for Armstrong. Squares takes it instead, and it's a strike. Bachmeyer, .345 average this year for the Falcons. 3 doubles, knocked in 20 so far, which is a team-high figure. Opportunity in the top of the first for Armstrong here. First and second and 1 out. Very breezy day and cool day here, much more so than it's been the last week or two. And there's a cut and a miss, and Bachmeyer falls behind in the count.
Yeah, this tournament typically has high heat, high humidity, thunderstorms coming in from the west, and play usually is iffy if the storms are coming through, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be any rain today. Definitely cold and definitely windy. Feels like mid to late season football.
Wibben on deck here for the Falcons. And Bachmeyer checking his swing. Umpire at first says no swing. So now 1-2.
I think what we're seeing Armstrong do here on every pitch is they're trying to make it seem like they have something happening. Even on that first pitch of this at bat, showing bunt. If you're going to take the pitch, you might as well show bunt, make Eden Prairie think that something's going on, and maybe force the issue.
And fastball up high there. Bachmeyer takes it to even the count up at 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Just the little things there. By having runners on base, they're forcing Binger to delay his delivery to the plate and pay a little more attention to the runner on second base, because he doesn't want him to get too big of a lead, because if a single occurs, you want to make sure that runner doesn't get too far.
Bluff will pick off down to second. And Bachmeyer, let's see, did he go? Yes, this time he did. And I was going to say, I think He did not hold up as much as he did the previous one, and so he is down on strikes here. You see the bat come through, and yeah, that's a pretty good call.
It was a good effort to check that on that pitch that's out of the zone, but it's a good pitch by Binger to get the strikeout.
So that is out number 2, and Jack Wibben will be the hitter. We've been playing in center, also one of their better pitchers. Takes that one for a strike. Jack had .316 for the year, but a .409 on base percentage, 6 runs batted in. Hasn't had the number of at-bats as some of their guys coming back after the season started. Hits it hard, but right at Wassenaar. He'll flip over, and Zimmerman covering. They get the force play, and Armstrong's threat goes by the wayside here in the top of the first. No runs, 1 base hit. There were no errors, and 2 left aboard for the Falcons. So after a half inning, Armstrong nothing. Eden Prairie getting set to come to the plate, and here's the lineup that Coach Butine will send up for the Eagles. The shortstop Zimmerman, who made that stepped on the bag for that force out there, leads it off. Then it'll be the pitcher Binger. Jack Clays, the catcher, hits third. Then it's Sullivan in left. Jeff Athey, the first baseman. Aaron Kerber, who's the DH. Matt Cheeseman in right field hits 7th. The second baseman Wassenaar hits 8th, and Michael Parrish, the third baseman, in the number 9 slot for Eden Prairie. And defensively for Armstrong, you've got Bachmeyer at third, Ricky Reed at short, Thorpe at second, and Wesner at first base. Gilbert, Wibben, and Olette in the outfield. A.D. Weiss behind the plate. And doing the pitching for the Falcons is left-hander Jordan Kuznia, who was named a second-team All-Metro pick by the Star Tribune. 4-1 record with 1 save, 39 innings pitched, an ERA of 1.08, 11 walks and 50 Ks, and we saw him throw a very good ball game with 6 innings of shutout ball against Benilde over at Parade Stadium. Good sharp breaking ball, good arm.
Yeah, Jay, the lefty has some impressive numbers, and for Armstrong, you know, we talked a little bit about it earlier, that they started out the season slow. They didn't have their entire roster filled out and everybody healthy to start, but once they started getting things going, they have shown that they're a pretty strong team, and Kuznia an anchor for the pitching staff here.
Here's a look at our 3A bracket so far. Lakeville North and Mounds View, the winners in the first 2 games of the tournament. And you've got this one, and then Mahtomedi Lakeville South to follow. The winners stay at Midway. The losers go over to Siebert Field Friday as the tournament continues. And then Target Field on Saturday, the championships on the Twins home diamond.
What a nice reward for those winners to be able to play over at Target Field. I mean, Midway is great. Siebert's a great field, but to have the experience to step out on that field and look up at the stands and realize that you're playing on the field that all these professional ball players are playing at, and in less than a month, you know, you're going to have the All-Star game with the best players in the world playing over there. What a great experience.
Zimmerman getting set to step in, a .393 average for him this year. I think there was a gate or something left open down the left field line. The base umpire noticed and said, let's get that taken care of in case any ball were hit that way. First pitch over for a strike from Kuznia. With a lot of young players for Armstrong, the kind of the 2 guys that they really knew they could count on in terms of returning pitching were Jordan Kuznia and also Jack Wibben, who's the center fielder today. And you know, that's not a bad thing to be able to build around those 2 guys. They had some other returning pitching as well, but they, you know, you start with that and then kind of fill in around them, and that's kind of how it's turned out.
Yeah, in high school baseball, a lot of the times that's what is the key to a winning team, is having a good pitching staff, and especially 2 top starting pitchers is huge for a team to get through sections and into state.
Taken for ball 4 here, and Zimmerman is aboard. And also need to note Jake Wesner's also had a very good year as a pitcher for them as well. We saw him as a closer over there in the win over Benilde over at Prairie. So Zimmerman aboard, and Corey Binger will be the batter. 304 average for him, 9 runs batted in. Runner was making his way back toward first, so trying to get a read on Kuznia's motion. Good news for Kuznia, obviously, as a left-hander, he can keep an eye on that runner. Maybe if there's bad news is that he has a little bit of a leg kick that if you time him right, it might be tough for Weiss, the catcher. I'm going to throw to first here.
Yeah, we've seen a steady dose of fastballs that tail out of the zone for Kuznia. He's got to find his zone and hit his corners to take control of these at-bats and put Eden Prairie, get them out here.
Come to first again.
It's always hard to pick up the a left-handed pickoff move because you never know. Some of these pitchers are so good that they might not even commit a balk, but they can still be thrown home. But especially with a leadoff runner on, you want to make sure he stays close.
Pitch up and out of the zone here. And this one hit well out to right center field, and it's going to get down for a hit. Ouellette will have to give chase. This might score the first run of the game. Nope, they're going to hold him up at third. Now he's going to run through it. Throw comes to second, and Zimmerman scores easily. It looked like they were trying to hold him up, but he realized that throw, they weren't even really looking, just threw directly to second. And so Binger will get a double to knock in a run. It's 1-0 Eden Prairie as he will depart for a courtesy runner as we get another look at this one.
Good solid contact out to right center field. Nice play by the right fielder to get the ball in quickly. And deception by Eden Prairie was the key. The third base coach was holding up the runner with a clear visible signal of holding the hands up, but the runner then may have picked up a cue and kept running through it. And he actually held out for a second and then busted home and scored the game's first run. You know, sometimes it's a visual cue is important, but if the players know that that's just a deception and the coach is saying go, 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 Armstrong is going to see the coach with their hand up and think that the runner is going to hold, but as the runner just decides to continue and score.
Pitch hangs up high for a ball there as Eden Prairie's taking the early lead here. Jack Clay's hitting for the Eagles, a .267 average for him, 5 runs batted in. Off the end of the bat, sends his teammates scattering over there.
It's important for Kuznia to focus in here and get an out. You want to get that first out of the inning. You don't want to just spiral out of control and let this game get out of control early, because even if that runner from second comes in to score the second run of the game, if you can get out of this inning with only 2 runs, you're still in good shape.
Yeah, you wonder, there's certainly more tournament experience with Eden Prairie. You wonder if Armstrong, the nerves get to you a little bit. They were saying too, they don't have much experience throughout their program history of ever playing at Midway. They, when they've played sections, been at, for the last several years, been at Parade, and prior to that, and sometimes when they've been in the state tournament, has been at Siebert, not here. So, a little different feel, and probably has some extra nerves. Fouled off the body of Clays.
Yeah, anytime you get a chance to play at a new stadium, it's always fun, but when you play at these bigger scale stadiums where there's larger scale events, semi-pro, amateur, and there's larger stands. You want to check things out. It's easy to get distracted, but once you get in that dugout, it's the exact same field as every other field that you've been on.
Two count here to Clays. Nobody out. Runner on second. 1 run in already for Eden Prairie on the bottom of the first. Breaking ball missing away.
I think you want to see Kuznia bring that in on the batter instead of sitting on the outside corner of the plate. Make that ball look like it's coming straight across the plate and then have it break in on their hands at the last second.
Fouled away as Clays fights that one off.
And Clay's going to see a steady dose of fastballs here at the heart of the order for Eden Prairie, and you don't want to walk another batter and put another runner on base here early in the game.
Full count offering from Kuznia. And a called third strike as he nips the outside corner with that breaking ball, and first out recorded as Clays will head back to the dugout, and now Jack Sullivan will hit for the Eagles.
Huge pitch for Kuznia to get confidence in this breaking ball. Throwing a 3-2 breaking ball, you got to have confidence in that pitch, and you get it across and get that strikeout from the number 3 hitter is huge confidence lift for the pitcher.
From our angle, looked like possibly could have been outside, but umpire says that caught the corner, so there's ball 1 to Jack Sullivan now. Sullivan a .366 average, 14 runs batted in. Eagles hit .301 as a team, so not, you know, phenomenal, but certainly strong in terms of you know, but their pitching was probably more their strength than an overpowering offense, really. They're, you know, got a team ERA of 1.82, so you're going to win a lot of ball games with pitching like that and playing defense like that, too.
When you got 3 pitchers with a sub 1.5 ERA.
In the dirt, Weiss a block. Christensen got a long break off second, but nobody covering, so he's able to easily scamper back in.
Yeah, you don't want to run yourself out of a scoring position, scoring opportunity here if you're in Prairie. But if the ball does scoot away from the catcher, you want to be in position where you can get down to third base.
There's a strike on the inner half. 61 degrees at game time. Wind from the west-northwest at 16 miles an hour. You're going to have to pay attention in the outfield. Gusty enough that balls are going to play tricks on you a little bit out there, and got to keep concentrating on the ball the whole way. And that one misses inside.
I think we're seeing Kuznia find a little bit more control on his pitches here. That fastball prior to that pitch was right on the inside corner and tailing back in. He seems like he has 2 different types of fastball. One where he likes to put a little juice on it, and then one where he kind of lets up.
3-2 pitch. Breaking ball, and looks like he just got a piece of that one. Ethy on deck here for the Eagles.
The key about throwing that 3-2 curveball in the last at bat, you know, keeps these Eden Prairie batters. They have to be honest. They can't just sit on that fastball with a full count.
And fights it off down the first base line, and a great catch. There, fighting the wind the whole time was Wessner, and he's able to hang on and grab it in foul territory here. He gets turned around, but sticks with it, and then ends up backhanding it. Oh,
you know, you can
adventure out there.
You can critique the footwork, the line, whatever. He got the out, and the other thing that he did is he got up right away and made sure the runner didn't have an opportunity to tag. You know, you see that in some games where the catcher or the fielder makes a nice catch, but then they sit there and kind of gloat as they made the catch and the runner advances. But he got right up and kept the runner at second base too.
Jeff Ethy, the hitter now for Eden Prairie, and asks for time here. Ethy hitting .338, 12 runs batted in.
Don't see the high socks that often, but I like the style.
I think and we were just talking about the wind, and I have to believe that Wessner, that play was made more difficult by the breeze there.
Yeah, and you know, as you watch that replay, he gets turned around and his feet are all over the place, but it doesn't matter. What matters is in the scorebook is that it's an out, and now they're in a position to get out of the inning with one more out here.
Fouled away down the left field line here. In the dirt. Weiss can't find it. Runner's going to move up.
Yeah, nice stop by the catcher to keep in front of him, but it's tough when it hits you in the chest and then bounces up to the side. You're not sure where it goes. And the runner was getting a decent secondary lead where that ball scooted away from him, and it was easy to get down to third.
Times you try to really snap off that perfect breaking ball, and that can be the result. So now runner to third with 2 outs. And that one's down low.
You know, after that leadoff walk, it definitely seems like he's getting more comfortable on the mound, Kuznia.
Been kind of a long, laboring inning, though, really, for to a certain extent to both pitchers, but maybe more so Kuznia. Hit well out to left field, but measured and caught by Corey Gilbert. So Athey getting a good piece of it, but it winds up in the glove of the left fielder. For Eden Prairie in the first, 1 run on 1 base hit. There were no errors and 1 left the board. After an inning, it's 1-0 Eagles here on 12 Sports.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
Welcome back here to Midway Stadium. Lots of base runners in that first inning. Eden Prairie gets 1 on the double by Binger, and now he's out there to begin his second inning as a pitcher, and leading it off for Armstrong will be their pitcher, Jordan Kuznia. Kuznia as a hitter, 300 average, 4 doubles, a triple, a couple of home runs, 10 runs batted in. Guy who likes to swing the bat hard and sometimes connects, makes some good things happen, and sometimes not as much.
Feast or famine. With the 2 home runs, you got to respect the power, and important for him to at least put the ball in play.
That one's over the outside corner for a strike. One offering here. Kuznia skying one. Shortstop drifting and hanging with it. Zimmerman able to hang on and make the catch, but it was not as sure of a thing as you might think.
That ball was up there, and it was an adventure for the Eden Prairie middle infield. Actually caught that ball on the second base side of the field, and he got the out.
John Nelson, the DH, will step up for Armstrong, hitting .207 on the year. 6 runs scored, a couple driven in. Hasn't had as many at-bats as their everyday guys, but takes a strike here to start the at-bat. Armstrong didn't really hit the ball hard or anything against Binger in that first inning. They did get a couple on. A hit by pitch and an infield single. Wassenaar, a one-hopper to first, and that's going to be an error as Nelson will reach. He kind of nonchalanted that one, and his footwork wasn't there, and the throw is in the dirt.
Yeah, the nice cherry hop made it easy for him to field the ball, and then he kind of took the little pace off throw to first, and short hop the first baseman and scoots away from him, and Armstrong gets the runner on base.
So Wessner will be the hitter with Nelson aboard on the E4. That play almost turned out too easy. Wassenaar didn't kind of go through his normal throwing motion. There's a high chopper. That's going to be in the right field for a base hit. Runner going for third, and he's going to make it without a throw. Nelson over there to third. Jake Wessner with a bouncer that gets through. Second hit for Armstrong. They have runners at the corners and one out.
That's what Armstrong does. You get the runner on base. The first baseman has to hold the runner on, and that slow chopper makes it to the right fielder, and the runner's all the way, the whole time, was headed to third.
I was a little surprised Eden Prairie didn't start to, but here, you know, a lot of times that's a smart thing to do, though. Make sure you keep that batter at first base rather than trying to show off your arm and gun it over to third and not get him and then allow the second trail runner to move up.
And I think part of that has to do with the pitcher on the mound, too, because they're confident that he's not going to give up. It's going to be a pretty low-scoring game, I think.
Ricky Reed takes a strike. Reed at 222 on the year. 4 runs batted in.
But this is where Armstrong is best, you know, with runners on and runners at the corner. You never know. They might suicide squeeze. Runner at first might just, they're really going to do anything they can to get that run across the plate.
And speaking of that, here's the throw down to third. Ball was dropped, and Nelson getting back in. I think they might have had a very good chance of getting him, but Parrish not able to handle the throw cleanly there. And I'm not sure if Armstrong was on exactly the same page signal-wise there, because certainly he was squaring to bunt, but Nelson was coming, and he was expecting that it was going to be anything to get the bat on the ball, and it was kind of a pitch. Actually pretty smart play by Eden Prairie. You throw it high and in, and the batter is going to self-preservation look to get out of the way, and they almost had an out.
Yeah, it's a natural response to flinch and turn away from it. You can't bunt that pitch.
He is bunting this time. He'll get it down, and it's going to score the run. Throw to first is in time, but Armstrong will tie things up. Reed able to get the job done, gets the sacrifice down, gets an RBI. As Nelson comes in to score an unearned run here for the Falcons.
They went right back to it, and it was a great bunt right between the pitcher and the third baseman. Softly laid down, and the runner easily comes in. And then they get the runner down to second as well, so another runner in scoring position.
Not only did it get the bunt down, but it's placed well enough that Eden Prairie didn't have a realistic shot of getting the guy coming in. To their credit, you take the out at first there. You don't get out of control. Now the ball in the dirt. Throw to third is in time. Nice job by Parrish to dig that one out and apply the tag on Wessner. So a caught stealing 2-5. But Armstrong gets on the board. 1 run, 1 base hit, 1 Eden Prairie error, and no one left to board. We go to the bottom of the second inning here. It is 1-1, the Falcons and the Eagles.
Much as I do. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best.
It must be love. It must be hospice.
Maple Grove, New Hope, and Brooklyn Center. Channel 12 is your local source.
When it comes to TV channels, you've got choices. As a matter of fact, you've got lots of choices. But only one channel is your local source in your community every day, bringing you the news, sports, events, and city information that affect you. So seek out the source. Channel 12, 30 years your local source.
Welcome back to Midway Stadium, 1-1, heading into the bottom of the second. Nice job by Eden Prairie to get themselves out of a jam in the top of the second as Parrish makes a nice scoop down at third base to get the runner. The throw definitely beats him, but had a short hop, and he protected the base and got the third out of the inning.
So Kerber, the DH, will lead it off here for Eden Prairie in the second. Waves at that one. He's hitting .324 on the season.
Kuznia doing a nice job getting ahead of the first batter of the inning. It's great for him to have this little boost of confidence as Armstrong came back to tie the game after he had that kind of lengthy first inning.
And knocking it to the right side. That one's going to get through for a base hit. Right between the diving tries there of Wessner and Thorpe, and much like the Armstrong hit that helped that last inning, not crushed, but hit in the right spot.
That's what you call a seeing-eye single. It goes right through both those players on the right side of the infield. Kuznia was hustling over there to cover first if either of them fielded the ball, but there was no play to be made.
Matt Cheeseman, the hitter, 306 average for him, 8 runs batted in. Fastball left up high. Got that one in on the hands and fouled away.
Nice little benefit of being having a left-handed pitcher on the mound for Armstrong is anytime they get a runner on first, it's so hard to pick up that move. And 75 to 80% of the time that they've had a runner on, that runner's been jumping back to first during the delivery.
Rip and a miss here, and it's 1-2.
Now, I think we saw this earlier from Kuznia in the season where that first inning he was kind of a little jittery, but after that first inning he found himself, and that's what we're seeing here right now. That fastball is moving, and even in the later in the first inning he had control of that curveball, and his confidence is continuing to rise.
Left that breaking ball just up high there. Yeah, I agree. He just he's quicker in getting back into his motion and everything too. It just kind of the jitters may be out. Sometimes you get too pumped up. You're thinking about this start all week, and you have some time off between the section and here, and he swings and misses at a high fastball, and Kuznia gets his second strikeout, and Josh Wassenaar, the second baseman, will hit.
Yeah, and as Kuznia has had such a great season, he comes in here feeling like the game's completely on his shoulders. But as the coach said earlier in the day, that this is a team, and once they got their pieces in place, this team functioned at a high level, and they won 12 out of the last 15 games. It wasn't all just one player. It wasn't 2 or 3 players. It was an entire team effort, and that's what Kuznia has to remember, that he has the team behind him. And on the offensive side, if they get runners on, they like to make things happen.
High and away with that fastball. Wassenaar, 7 runs batted in, but a 191 batting average overall. So seeing a few guys in each lineup that are, haven't had huge numbers, but still capable hitters, able to get some, and they're both playing good competition all year too. You're facing some pretty good pitchers when you're in the Lake Conference like Eden Prairie is, or the Northwest Suburban like Armstrong is.
Yeah, I mean, the state tournament's littered with teams from both. Both teams have played tremendous schedules, and even their non-conference schedules are filled with excellent competition.
Kuznia falling behind in the count here to the number 8 hitter Wassenaar. Parrish on deck. Takes a strike, looking all the way there.
Kuznia took a little bit off that one and made sure he got it across the plate because he doesn't want to walk a batter this low in the order.
And he does lose him, so Josh will take a walk to first. Kerber advances to second, and Michael Parrish, the number 9 hitter and third baseman, will step in, but Weiss going to go talk to Kuznia a little bit here first.
I think they just got to remember where they're at in this Eden Prairie order. You want to make sure you get it out, you throw the ball over the plate, make them hit the ball. You don't want to pitch around anybody. You want to make them take swings. You don't want them to you don't want to give them free bases either.
Parrish, a 286 average, 8 runs driven in. Looks at a pitch up high for a ball, so Kuznia having a little bit of trouble with his release point. He's been his fastballs, a lot of them have been high.
Yeah, he's over the plate, but he's definitely up in the zone consistently in the past couple batters.
And there's another one that's way up top. Sometimes I think working from a new unfamiliar mound can do that a little bit to you too. And Brian Sobiek's going to come out right now to talk to Kuznia. And Just try and get him settled down.
Good job as a coach here. You wanna make sure that your pitcher knows that they had it earlier in the inning, late in the last inning. He had it. He had his pitch. He had his release point. He had everything down. You need to remind him that that's where you need to be, because he's lost it. He's consistently been up in the zone the past 10 pitches. He's been over the plate, but he's been up in the zone. You can't just continue to walk batters.
Look like Weiss trying to make him forget about his struggles with a little humor there, maybe, as he big smile walking away. And obviously you don't want to leave a guy who's struggling out there a long time, but this is one of the guys that helped get them there. He's going to get every chance to work through this for these first few innings, I'm sure. That one's over for a strike.
Yeah, and a good thing something that I've noticed about Armstrong is that they have kind of a loosey-goosey feel. You know, they kind of have a good sense of humor. It's not that they're not taking it serious, but they don't seem like they play best when they don't feel like they have pressure on them.
Lifted back, fouling out of play here by Parrish. So Kuznia battles back to even things up at 2-2. Ryan Zimmerman waiting on deck. The top of the order will come next for Eden Prairie here as they try and grab the lead back. They led 1-0 after one. Armstrong got one in the top of the second. And that one hits him in the back. Breaking ball that was started out maybe the inside corner and kept tailing and hit him in the back. So Parrish aboard on the hit by pitch. Each pitcher has now hit a batter.
Definitely not what Kuznia was intended to do. He just lost control of that one and it almost went completely behind the batter, which would have been better off for Armstrong, but unfortunately it caught the back part of the batter's jersey.
So the bases loaded up now for Zimmerman, who walked and scored, as you see in that first inning. Armstrong will have the first and third baseman up on the grass. Middle infielders at double play depth. Zimmerman had a big cut but didn't get it.
Early on here in the game, but a big part for both teams. You know, bases loaded, top of the order for Eden Prairie. A big chance to get ahead and to build a decent lead here.
In the dirt there, Weiss able to smother it.
And if you're Armstrong, you definitely want to avoid the big inning. You always want to focus on the fundamentals, but make sure you get one out. If the ball is put in play, you have a chance to make two. Make sure you get the first out before you focus on the second out.
Pops it up. Again, the wind is an issue today. Let the right fielder underneath it, makes the catch. And runners bluff but have to hang on. So a big out recorded there as he gets Zimmerman on a fly to short right field. And now Corey Binger will bat for EP.
All right, the fundamentals right there for Armstrong. Short fly ball to right field. The runner from third easily could have scampered down third base, but get the ball in early and hit the cutoff man, and nobody advances. Now they're one out away from getting out of this jam.
And certainly a good thing there to let the right fielder handle that rather than the second baseman who's going back on that ball in this wind. You've got a much better throwing angle, and he's coming toward the plate. So if he can get it, that should be the right fielder's ball, and they did it correctly there. Binger hit the ball a long way to right center last time, drove in the Eden Prairie run with a double.
Yeah, a chance to help himself out here big time.
Reaches out, and Wesner makes a diving catch at first base. And the Falcons get out of trouble here in the second inning. Eden Prairie, no runs, one hit, no Armstrong errors, 3 left aboard. As we go to the third with this catch by Wesner, it's 1-1 Armstrong and Eden Prairie.
A Brooklyn Park church received some unwelcome visitors this past weekend.
Volunteers really do have their work cut out for them. They'll be inspecting 23,000 residential lots and city boulevards.
The problem began when the railroad decided to increase the train's speed. In the process, they had to raise a portion of the track over here.
Fire crews got a call around 4 Friday morning from a passerby alerting them to a deck fire.
This time, little lob for Winnicky, trying to go up and get it. Touchdown!
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
Armstrong and Eden Prairie even at a run apiece as we go to inning number 3 here at Midway Stadium, our State Class 3A baseball tournament quarterfinals on 12 Sports. And it'll be Corey Gilbert, Josh Thorpe, and Troy Olette leading off the third here for Armstrong. Gilbert bounced out to the second baseman his first time up. Bluffs bunt, swings and misses.
You know, seeing this from the first pitch in the inning, it's the fake bunt, pull back and swing. It's got to keep Eden Prairie on their toes. They have no idea what the plan is here.
Thing about that though is your hitter has to be comfortable doing it too, because otherwise you may screw up his swing. But obviously Gilbert has done plenty of it. That one is a strike. So 1-2 count here to Gilbert. Breaking ball called, third strike, and Gilbert is caught looking. Second strikeout of the day here for Binger, and Thorpe will hit.
That ball had a lot of movement in it. It came back and hit the outside corner of the plate and dropped right on that corner.
Thorpe, who was hit by a pitch off his helmet first time up, appeared to not have any big issues with it at all, just trotted down to first.
Those are hard to forget, but as a batter, it's important because they're going to test that inside corner and make sure that they own the plate. But
and that one is a strike over the inner part.
Thorpe not showing any signs of being worried about that inside part of the plate. Nice job of standing in on that pitch.
High fastball there, 1-2.
Good count for that breaking ball again for Binger to go back to that breaking ball.
Knocked to second, and Wassenauer throws him out, so 2 gone here in the third, and Troy Olette will be the batter.
You know, that time we saw the ground ball to the second baseman, kind of a routine play again, but he didn't have the time to kind of let up and take an easy throw over to first. So he got the routine throw over, and it looked like any other play he's made this season. He just forced the ball over there and get the out.
Olette running down to check with Brian Sobiak. It must have been, I don't know if it was a sign he didn't see there, or maybe they want to give their pitcher Kuznia enough rest here. Don't go out so quickly that he doesn't get any time here too. I don't know. Yeah.
Never know.
Olette singled his first time up. Infield single at high chopper to short.
Well-worn helmet there, a little pine tar on there. Looks like a good old-fashioned baseball player.
Another high chopper, same as the first one. Throw on the run, and this time they get him as Zimmerman throws him out. Falcons quickly and quietly in the third. No runs, no hits, and no one left. We go to the bottom of 3 here at Midway Stadium. It is 1-1, Armstrong and Eden Prairie.
Hi, Hi, I'm here to tell you about a new medical website designed especially for older folks. Website, you say? I can't work on computers. They're not senior-friendly, blah, blah, blah. But the National Institutes of Health fixed all that. Now you can make the type bigger, increase contrast, even make it talk to you.
Arthritis.
Just go to NIHseniorhealth.gov and get the best medical information available anywhere. NIHseniorhealth.gov. Built with you in mind.
From the home of the Saints, Midway Stadium, it is Armstrong and Eden Prairie at a run apiece here in the State Class 3A baseball tournament. I'm Jay Wilcox along with Drew Keogh, and we are final telecast of the spring season and of the 2013-2014 school year. So hope you have enjoyed it as much as we have all this year and get some summer sports going and for a lot of these guys, and whether it be Legion ball or another sport, in fact, too. A little bit of light throwing down there in the bullpen. I'm not sure if that's anybody loosening up to pitch necessarily or just getting some work in there. Jack Clay is taking a pitch high and in for ball one. You see he struck out his first at bat in the first inning against Kuznia. Things haven't come easily for Jordan Kuznia here today. He's thrown a lot of pitches in these first couple innings and got nice catch by his first baseman, Wessner, to get him out of that bases loaded situation in the second. Clay's wanted timeout. It wasn't granted, and so he promptly delivers a single to left field. Looked like he held up his hand too late. Umpire did not grant him time and gets the hit anyway.
Yeah, he also throws the shortstop. Yeah, he had his hand up, and it's up to the umpire to call it. Until he calls it, the ball's in play, and he gets a soft liner over the shortstop's head to get on first base.
Colton Simmer will be the courtesy runner down there at first base for Clay as the catcher. So Jack Sullivan will bat. He fouled out to the first baseman Wessner on that ball that got up in the wind and got him turned around, and he ended up making a kind of a nice backhand falling catch.
Good idea to keep that courtesy runner close to the base and make sure he's paying attention to the ball game here. And first pitch, or before you even throw that first pitch, throw him over there and see if he's paying attention.
Hard hit ball just past Thorpe and into center field. And digging for third, there'll be a throw to third. It's offline, and that'll allow the hitter Sullivan to advance to second. There's what we talked about earlier, hitting the cutoff man. That time Armstrong did not execute. Boy, this ball doesn't miss Thorpe's glove by much here.
I think he thought he had it. He looked down at his glove and said, oh, you know, a good effort and good thought to get over to third base, but you got to cut that ball off and keep the runner at first. As with the courtesy runner, usually a courtesy runner brings speed to the game that wasn't initially that the original batter didn't have, so they advance run over to third easily, and follow-up runner gets down to second.
So second and third here and nobody out. Jeff Athey, the batter here for EP, and he knocks one into right field for a hit. One run will score. Second runner held as Ouellette comes up throwing, and it's cut off by Wessner, but Eden Prairie takes a 2-1 lead. Didn't waste any time there. Athey on the first pitch delivers an RBI single.
Yeah, good solid contact on that first pitch. Not too deep, not too hard, but in the right spot to the right field. Coming up throwing, good throw, good cutoff. Keep the runner at first there.
So Kerber will hit now. Runners at the corners, still nobody out. A run in. Kerber singled his first at bat. Kuznia is going to go to first. So I guess the good news for Kuznia is he's been around the strike zone more in the third. Bad news is 3 straight singles to start the inning.
Yeah, even giving up that run here, you still got to focus and continue to get out. So you got to run on third. Don't worry too much about that. Focus on the batter and get an out here.
Kerber had a big rip, didn't get it. And lifts it out to right center, hits it a long way. That's going to be in the gap. 2 runs are going to score. Kerber digging into second, now rounds and heads for third. The ball scampers through the cutoff man, and it is a 2-run triple here for Kerber for Eden Prairie.
Big point in the game here where Eden Prairie's starting to get comfortable at the plate and putting the ball in play. Deep right center field allows the runners to easily score. And Kerber runs all the way around to third base.
See, Wibben tracks it down, and the short hops the cutoff man there, which eliminated any chance. Still going to just score that one a triple, because there's certainly not a sure thing they would have had a chance to get him out there anyway. But Cheeseman will be the batter here for Eden Prairie. He struck out his first time up, but the Eagles have kind of blown it open a little bit here. 4-1 lead, and still nobody out here in the third.
Yeah, important for Armstrong to limit the damage. You don't want to let this get to be a 7-8 run game here in this inning. You want to keep it close.
Fouls this one straight back.
I think Eden Prairie's feeling comfortable knowing that Kuzney is feeling comfortable in the zone, so they're starting to see pitches in the zone, so they're starting to rip them where they want and get runs across the plate.
Breaking ball tap foul at the plate. So 1-2 count here to Cheeseman. Slices it foul the other direction. First and third again are up on the grass here for Armstrong. And there is a ball hit to the third baseman. Bachmeyer knocks it down, double clutches, and still gets the out at first. A run will score. Because Wesner was playing in so far, Bachmeyer had to wait for him to get over to first base.
Great play by the third baseman. Knocks it down, clutches on the throw, waits for the first baseman to get over there, and still puts enough juice on that throw to get the out at first.
There you see the runner Kerber coming in, although if you're Armstrong there, the idea of having the first and third baseman in is to cut that runner. I'm a little surprised he didn't look at home. I think there was a possibility of getting an out there too, but he didn't come up with it cleanly on the dive, and I think that made it his decision to go to first. And an out there is more important, I think, for Armstrong, especially the way the inning had been going.
Yeah, you definitely want to keep that runner from scoring, but if you don't come up with the clean, and if Eden Prairie's playing contact, if they're moving on contact, it's going to be really tough to get that out at home if there's a bobble.
And a called third strike, and Wassenauer goes down on 3 pitches for out number 2, and Parrish will be the hitter.
Nice breaking ball to get the third strike and second out of this inning. Now Armstrong's in a position to end the inning. Like we said, limited damage. I mean, 4 runs is not what you want, but it could have been worse.
Parrish, big rip, didn't get that one. He was hit by a pitch, breaking ball that got away and actually hit him on the numbers on the back of his jersey the first time up. That one nearly hit him.
Yeah, well, it was definitely inside. It looked like it was going to hit him in the knees and the shin area, but he stepped away last second.
Yeah, I don't think you want to get hit anywhere, but on the knee, I don't think is definitely not high on the list of places you'd like to have one hit you. Cut and a miss here.
Yeah, his first at bat is about as good as it gets in the back of your jersey, where it doesn't even, barely even hit your body.
Outside with that one, and it's a full count. And a rip and a miss, and Kuznia comes back to get the last 3, but the damage is done. 4 runs in the inning on 4 base hits, no errors, and no one left on. After 3 innings complete, it is 5-1 Eagles.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
E-File. Get receipt confirmation and a quicker refund. Log on or tell your tax preparer to e-file for you and join the 53 million e-filers who consider it done.
We go to inning number 4 here. Bachmeyer, Wibben, and Kuznia will hit for Armstrong as they trail at 5-1.
Jay, it'll be important to see if Armstrong can regroup and do what they do best is when they get runners on, try and make things happen. But first things first, you got to get the runner on base.
Bachmeyer struck out his first time up. Pitch in dirt taken for a ball. And I think your offensive approach here has to stay the same for now. Get as many guys on base as you can.
We didn't see Eden Prairie do anything too flashy last inning. They had the one big hit to right center field. Other than that, it was just running on the bases, making the defense make plays, and they hit the ball in the right spot.
Taken for a ball, so Bachmeyer ahead in the count here as maybe that long inning took the momentum away a little bit from Binger. Pours the fastball over here for a strike. And there's ball 4, so Bachmeyer is aboard here to begin the 4th inning.
Good eye, it was a good pitch just outside the plate, but Armstrong gets the leadoff runner on base, and now they're in business.
Wibben will hit here for the Falcons. First walk issued by Binger, although he did hit a batter earlier. See, Wibben bounced into a force play that ended the first inning. Squares around, takes the pitch for a strike.
This is what Armstrong does. They play scrappy. It's not often you see a team down 4 runs middle of the game with a runner on first, trying to bunt, but it forces Eden Prairie to readjust their defense and keep everything in mind here.
Takes that one inside, so 1-1.
For all we know, with Binger's stats and the way he pitches, he has a pretty good history, and if you're Armstrong, usually if you're down, sometimes coaches like to say, take a strike, and if you're taking a strike, you might as well square around and fake bunt.
And this one smoked into center field for a base hit, so Wibben delivers a single. Bachmeyer to second. Armstrong really hasn't lacked for base runners all that much. I mean, they went 1, 2, 3 in the 3rd, but they've gotten some people on today. And
good solid contact there by Wibben right up the box. It's one of the hardest hit balls we've seen all day. Even that deep right center field hit by the Eden Prairie was kind of sky high, but Wibben, good solid contact and good sign for Armstrong.
See, Kuznia hit that very high pop-up that was gloved by the shortstop Zimmerman his first time up.
Important for Kuznia to keep that line drive mentality in his mind right here. You want to put the ball in play. You don't want to hit it too high in the air.
Squaring takes it high for a ball.
You know, even with that 320 down the line, there's a lot of room in the outfield. Just hit it on a line and let the runners run.
Kuznia hitting this one well out to right field, and it is over his head. Run will score, and holding on is Wibben at third. As it turns out, the ball comes skipping through the infield, but they didn't know that ahead of time, so Wibben will hang on at third. Kuznia drives in Bachmeyer with a long double to right field.
Good piece of hitting. Line drive to right center field over the right fielder's head. Both runners were kind of waiting to see if that ball was going to be caught. They almost caught up to each other, and good job by Kuznia to not overrun the runner ahead of him and hold up at second base, but get that run across the plate.
Courtesy runner Mike Arnost will come on to run for the pitcher Kuznia. There you get a look, and Kuznia saying, "What are you doing still at third?" But I guess hindsight's 20/20. You can't tell that ball is going to get it past the cutoff there. And I think if you come to a complete stop and go back to third and then try and run again there, and also you've got 0 outs right now, you just can't take that chance.
You don't want to run yourself out of a scoring opportunity, definitely, if you're Armstrong. It'd be great as that ball scampered away from the cutoff to get in, but don't run out of a scoring opportunity.
John Nelson, the hitter here for the Falcons, reached on an error his first time up on that throw that was in the dirt from Wassenaar, the second baseman. So second and third here with nobody out for Armstrong. They still trail by 3, but they've got 1 run in, and definitely an opportunity to add to that. And that one is a called strike.
Armstrong again trying to do a lot of things on the base paths to keep Eden Prairie from getting comfortable in their defensive position. A lot of movement. You never know what the other defensive player is doing, and it causes confusion sometimes for the infield.
Swings away and fouls it.
The other thing it does, it also opens up green in certain areas. If the third baseman's coming in, that little short pop over his head is going to be an opportunity. Same thing with the first baseman. Also, if the runner gets too far down the line, you never know where if the ball gets back to the pitcher, they can easily break to home.
Missed outside with that one, 2-2.
Binger wanted that one, but a little off the plate. Strikeout here would be huge for Binger to get this first out.
Late swing on that fastball, but fouls it off down the right field side.
Nice job to protect the plate, keep the at-bat alive. If it's a strike, you got to put it in play or foul it off. You got to stay alive. Even if it's close, you don't want to take a called third strike in this position.
And lifted out to short center field. It is going to fall in for a hit, and a run will score. The runners at the corners. Wibben was waiting to see if that one would be caught or not, but still scores easily. Nelson, little bloop single to knock in a run here, and Armstrong right back in it to within 5-3. Still nobody out.
Definitely not the hardest hit ball of the day, but perfectly placed, and the center fielder did not get a good break on that. He kind of thought it was going to come to him, and then he realized it was going to be short, and he kind of conceded the run and got the ball into second base.
Jake Wesner will be the hitter, but first a conference on the mound here for Eden Prairie.
You know, nice job here for Armstrong after giving up those 4 runs in the bottom of the third to get the first couple runners on, a solid hit by Kuznia to get a run across. Now they still have first and third with nobody out. You know, they're in a really good spot to make this a tie game. You know, if you're Eden Prairie, you want to make sure you get 1 out. You know, we talked about it with Armstrong a couple of the past 2 innings. First thing you got to do is get the first out. You're not going to get if they get a triple play here, that'd be amazing. But you're not going to get one. You want to get the first out and then focus on the next batter. Get the second out, 1 out at a time. You still have a 2-run lead. you're still comfortable with a 2-run lead in the top of the 4th here.
I think it's interesting for both these teams too to have to adjust to seeing one of their best pitchers struggle, because you look at the stats for both guys through the year, and for the most part this hasn't happened to them, and now how do you fight through it as an individual but also as a team?
Yeah, 1.4, 1.5 ERA and a 1.0 ERA on the Armstrong side. Both pitchers have great seasons, but that all gets thrown out when you come to state.
Jake Wesner had a single his first time up. 1st and 3rd, nobody out. 2 runs in. Armstrong back to within 5-3, and he looked like he was shortening up as if to possibly bunt there. Still wouldn't be a big surprise to see that here in this spot.
Yeah, that's how Armstrong plays. They play 1 run at a time. They want to get that run across. They're going to do anything they can to get that runner from 3rd across the plate at this point in the game.
And he does try and bunt, but didn't really get great mechanics on that one. Fouled it back.
Now, I don't think the squeeze would be on here, but definitely a sacrifice bunt would be in play. All-out squeeze is very uncommon with a left-handed batter with that runner coming down from the 3rd baseline.
One count here to Wesner. Little tapper in front of the plate. You're going to go to first base, get the out there. Now the pitcher covering Binger gets back, and he makes the tag. Arnest is out at home, and a double play for Eden Prairie. An interesting one there. Wesner thrown out 2-3, and then they get the runner Arnest coming home. Good job by Binger to make sure he covered. I was wondering too, are they going to realize that they need the cover, and diving out of the way there is catcher Clays to make sure he's not in the line of fire there.
Yeah, Jay, we talked early at the beginning of the game that fundamentals is key at this point in the season. Execution of that play was perfect for Eden Prairie. The catcher makes a nice throw down to first base. Pitcher covers home, and as the throw comes down, the catcher's laying on the ground on his belly to get out of the way of the throw.
So Reed will be the hitter here. The inning taking a big turn right there with a double play in a very unusual fashion. You know, in a lot of ways, it's hard to fault anything that Armstrong did there. I think, you know, runner from 3rd, if you're coming home initially, they probably, you know, the ball wasn't far enough away from the plate for it to be a sure thing that you're coming, and then you're gambling or banking on that it's going to be a hard throw and catch for the pitcher coming in to cover there. But he got there in time to be able to turn and square up and take the throw. If he had lingered out there on the mound, they might have been throwing to a moving target. It would have been a lot harder.
You know, that's Armstrong's MO. Make the defense make the play, and not often does, you know, they force the issue on the defense, and that's exactly what they did there. It took a perfectly executed play by Eden Prairie to get the double play there. Had they not gotten the throw down to home plate, it would have been a much, you know, we would have been saying great coaching, way to send the runner there.
Reed waves at that one. It's in the dirt and the tag applied. So much like in the last inning, good ending for the defense after a great start for the offense. Armstrong gets 2 runs in the inning on 3 base hits. No Eden Prairie errors, 1 left aboard. We head to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is 5-3 Eagles in an eventful state quarterfinal.
Not long ago, Albert couldn't take long walks. He was diagnosed with a bad heart. After considering all the treatment options, his heart specialist recommended a pacemaker instead of putting him to sleep. Get the facts about animal research.
What does being involved really mean? Is it making grilled cheese sandwiches for a sleepover? Staying for the curtain call at the talent show? Or learning the names of their favorite bands? Believe it or not, right now there are parents just like you out there talking about things like this. From school to home, from friends to futures. And we'd like you to be a part of it. National PTA. Every child, one voice.
A lot happening in this one. Good offense at times, some pretty good defense there. That double play turned by Eden Prairie. And a 5-3 lead for the Eagles here over the Armstrong Falcons. Still a lot of ball to go here. You get the feeling we're far from done with scoring maybe. Bottom of the fourth now. It's the top of the order for Eden Prairie. Zimmerman, Binger, and Clays against Kuznia, who's still out there on the mound. Had a rough third inning. First 4 batters got base hits, including a 2-run triple by the fourth hitter.
A lot of real estate over there on the first base side. Both sides of the field, there's a lot of foul ball territory, and not what you usually see in a high school field because they don't have that amount of real estate to dedicate to a ball field. But here they have the bullpens built into the foul ball territory, and that one was just too far deep into foul territory for the right fielder to get it.
One ball, one strike here to the Eagles shortstop. Zimmerman hitting it pretty well to center. Wibben looks like he has a track though, and he will make the catch for out number 1.
Nice play by Wibben. That ball hits straight at him on a line by the leadoff hitter. It's hard to judge, and you want to do everything you can to keep that leadoff hitter off base. But he had a good read on it, took a few steps back, and caught the first out of the inning.
You know, I was thinking right after he caught it, looking up, the flag seems to have settled down some, although you look at the trees out there beyond the outfield fence, and they're still moving pretty good. It is definitely still a fairly good breeze. You see the flag then didn't look like much right there, and that one knocked past third by Binger and into left field. And it looks like they're going to immediately score a hit on that one. So base hit. Bachmeyer was over there, but didn't get a glove on that one. And Christensen's going to be the runner again at first base.
Yeah, solidly hit ball down the third baseline. It kind of hit the wing there and hopped up on the third baseman. It was going to be a tough play to make either way.
So Clay's stepping in. He had a single last time around. His runner came in to score. In fact, he started that rally in the third with a hit. Be interesting to see here now if, you know, Kuznia makes some adjustments or if they're kind of locked in and going to be able to, because last inning they came up and every guy that came up seemed pretty confident, those first 4 anyway, and got good contact and got base hits.
Yeah, they were swinging early in the count and swinging often, and the result was 4 runs for Eden Prairie. Let's see if they can continue that here. But Kuznia needs to focus and keep throwing his pitches. As long as he hits his spots, that's what the team expects from him.
Runner going. Here's Weiss's throw, and it is into the runner. Christensen will be safe with a stolen base.
Yeah, breaking ball gives the runner a little bit of an advantage. The throw on the second base side of the bag, and there's no way you're going to make that play.
It wasn't a tremendous throw to start with, but then it obviously took away any chance for Thorpe to field it when it hit the runner. Pitch in the dirt there, so he falls behind in the count here to Clay. Is now 3-0. Interesting, Armstrong. Obviously, you know, you're in a spot where you've got to play for the win no matter what. So if you had a guy maybe in mind to pitch game 2, he's probably got to come in and relief in game 1. I mean, you can't. There is trying to win anything in the consolation isn't what any of the 8 teams are here to do. So you go all out for a win in this one.
Yeah, it's a little different approach than it is in sections. In sections, you know, you can come through in the consolation bracket and keep fighting your way through. But here at state, if you lose, your shot at the championship is over.
After Clay's walked, he's run for by Colton Simmer again. Brian Sobiak out now to talk with Kuznia. He didn't come out and immediately ask for the baseball, but we'll see if they may be thinking a change here or not. Yeah, it looks like they are going to lift him. And Jack Wibben is going to come in from center field. That was the guy that he tabbed as next up to pitch. So Wibben will make his way in from center field as Kuznia is lifted here with 1 out in the 4th. Arnost will come in to play center field for the Falcons. We'll take a break as Wibben gets his warm-up tosses. 5-3 Eden Prairie, our score here in the bottom of the 4th.
What do you want from the all-powerful Oz?
A brain. People wonder how I got to be the all-knowing Wizard of Oz. I go to USA.gov, the official source for government info.
Pick up the student loan form to your right. Next!
I want to go back to Kansas.
Oh, that's a toughie. Back to USA.gov, passport applications.
For federal and state government information, there's no place like USA.gov.
The American Heart Association says for every hour of regular vigorous exercise we do, like very brisk walking, we could live 2 hours longer. Imagine, if we walked to the moon and back, we could live forever. Find out about the upcoming American Heart Association Start Heart Walk in your area. Walk with your coworkers, friends, and family.
Jack Wibben coming on in relief, a record of 3-1 for Armstrong this year, 3.65 ERA, or 23 innings, 29 hits allowed, 13 walks, 21 Ks. First pitch fouled back into the screen by Jack Sullivan, the left fielder and number 4 hitter in the Eden Prairie lineup. Runners at first and second, 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th, so they chase Kuznia after 3 1/3.
You know, big hitter to come in here and face on the first batter. It's the heart of the order for Eden Prairie with runners on.
And this one well hit. It's off Reed's glove, and everyone's going to be safe, it looks like. Yes, diving into second base there is the runner Simmer.
Good range by the shortstop. I think he had it in his glove, but it just popped out. I think it hit him in the palm of the glove, and it bounced out. If he catches that in the web, it's a line drive out, but pops out of his glove, and the runners advance.
They'll score that as a base hit. So base is full here. Athey stepping in. We're a little bit similar to where we were last inning with Eden Prairie looking to try and break it open. Kerber hit a 2-run triple. There's a breaking ball over for a strike from Wibben.
He's that slow breaking ball. It's tough to pick up. It drops down and cuts across the plate, both directions movement.
Sliced foul on the left field line. Armstrong again with the corner infielders up on the edge of the grass, the middle infielders at double play depth. And outside with that one. Wibben coming in a tough spot here, but you know, a 2-run game right now. They're still very much right in this one, but on the other side, if you're Eden Prairie, if you can get a couple of clutch hits here, and you can really extend that lead back open again. And Athey cut and a miss at a big breaking ball, so down on strikes for out number 2. A huge out there for Wibben.
Nice job of pitching there by Wibben. He stretched the zone in the previous pitch with the fastball just off the plate, and then comes back with the breaking ball, kept the batter off balance, and got the strikeout.
Sometimes just getting a look at, you know, a different pitcher is something that you need as the defensive team there too. And you know, obviously both Jordan and Jack have been successful pitchers for them, but come in and with a little different look, maybe they had locked in on Kuznia a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, both lefties, you'd expect to see the same thing, but they're not. I mean, they throw different breaking balls, maybe different release points, and even their fastball might be a little bit different. Kuznia had a little bit of tailing action on his fastball, and Kuznia seems to be finding the zone right away, which is very important for Armstrong in this situation.
Kerber has been good today, as you saw, a single and then a 2-run triple. You're in the lineup as the DH to be a hitter, and he's done it today. Big cut and a miss. Now a throw to first. A little surprising there with the bases full. Weiss throwing down there to Wessner, but 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wibben trying to wiggle out of a huge jam after relieving Kuznia. Misses outside with that one.
Yeah, Wibben's bringing some pace to this. He's getting right on that mound and throwing strikes and keeping Eden Prairie batters honest and off balance.
Cut and a miss. Kerber down on strikes, and Wibben comes in and does the job. So Eden Prairie, a big threat, but they don't score in the 4th. No runs, 2 base hits, no errors, and they leave 3 more. Through 4 innings, it is 5-3 Eden Prairie here in the State 3A baseball tournament.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
Welcome back here to Midway Stadium. Armstrong getting set to bat in the top of the 5th inning against Corey Binger of Eden Prairie, who is both starters, you know, had their good moments and not so good. And Kuznia ended up getting lifted there in the 4th, and Binger has pitched through 4 innings, but you know, he's had his struggles at times as well. And Armstrong, I think, still hopeful that they have opportunity to get some more runs in this one. Gilbert down to second. Wasnar digs it out, throws him out. 1 gone here in the 5th, and Josh Thorpe will be the batter.
Nice play there by Wasnar to field that ball cleanly. That was hit pretty well, but it was right at him. Fielded it cleanly and got the ball over to first to get the first out of the inning, which is crucial for Eden Prairie to keep Armstrong runners off base, because that's where they begin to gain steam and confidence and make things happen.
Pitch outside there. You know, and I think even though there have been 8 runs between them, I think to a degree both teams are kind of you know, thinking about some missed opportunities to add more to it. I mean, Eden Prairie leaving the bases loaded a couple times, and Armstrong that 4th inning, even though they got 2 runs, it certainly felt like it could be a lot more. Of that double play that was turned on a little tapper in front of the plate, and then a throw to first and the return throw home, that was huge.
Yeah, Armstrong getting out of that inning with the double play, or the line drive with the bases loaded early in the game, and then that double play by Eden Prairie was so much going on, and perfect execution. It really hurt Armstrong.
That one missing to Thorpe. Olat waiting on deck here for the Falcons. Thorpe stinging it to center, and it's going to be in for a hit. Short hopping there off the body of Gasner, and Thorpe will have himself a 1-out single.
Solid hit right up the middle. Tough play for the center fielder. Again, you can't judge those line drives when they hit right at you, and it was important for him to keep that in front of him, because that ball's hit well enough where if it does get behind him, it could go for a little bit and easily turn into 2-3 bases.
Yeah, I think if that ball skips under his glove and he doesn't get a piece of it at all, it could possibly even be a home run if it had enough roll on it there. So, you know, although he hesitated a little bit, I think he ended up making the right play by just trying to get the body in front of that one. Olet beat out a high chopper to short in the 1st inning, and then had another one of basically the same thing on a high bouncer, but the Zimmerman got the hop more to his liking on the second one and got him on a close play. Time called, as Binger was taking a long time there, and Ouellette getting time just in time there. I'm sure Eden Prairie bench kind of grumbling a little bit, as it looked like the pitch would have been a strike. Ouellette knocking it down to second. Wasnnauer, nice job to track it down, and he'll go to first to get the out there. The base runner Thorpe moves up, but good range to his left there by Wasnauer.
Yeah, he was running over to cover second base in case the runner was stealing, but good job of quickly changing direction and fielding that ball cleanly, and quick release over to first base to get the out.
Bachmeyer, the batter here for Armstrong. Breaking ball's over for a strike.
Nice pitch there by Binger to take a little bit off the breaking ball. He's shown the breaking ball with a little speed on it. That time he slowed it down a little bit, and you know, you don't want to let the batter get comfortable. Even if it's a breaking ball, you change that speed, it acts like another pitch.
Bachmeyer hitting it well out to left field. A diving try, and it's off his glove. A run will score. Thorpe in. Bachmeyer digging for second. The throw is wide of the bag, and Bachmeyer will hang on. So Armstrong now to within 5-4.
You know, solid hit ball. Runners moving on contact with 2 outs. It looks like he thought he had it, but that last bounce, he landed before he tried to catch the ball, and I think that threw him off with his judgment. Nice job by the backup here, because if that ball gets by the first baseman, that runner's easily going to run around and score because there's so much real estate in foul territory over there.
Going to score that one as a hit. A double will make it 5-4, and going to have Calvin Weimerskirch coming on to run now for Bachmeyer. This is not a courtesy run, it's just a straight pinch runner. So Wibben will be the hitter here, a chance to tie things up. 5-4 ball game. And although the ball was well hit and it ends up being called a hit, I think you could make the case that Eden Prairie's outfield defense hasn't been super strong here. That ball lifted out to right field though, and caught by Cheeseman there as Wibben flies to right. Armstrong gets a little bit closer though. 1 run in the inning on 2 base hits. No errors and 1 left aboard. It is a 5-4 lead for Eden Prairie.
I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best.
It must be love. It must be hospice.
Maple Grove, New Hope, and Brooklyn Center. Channel 12 is your local source.
When it comes to TV channels, you've got choices. As a matter of fact, you've got lots of choices. But only one channel is your local source in your community every day, bringing you the news, sports, events, and city information that affect you. So seek out the source. Channel 12, 30 years your local source.
Bottom third of the order coming up here for Eden Prairie in the bottom of the 5th inning here at Midway Stadium. Very entertaining ball game here. A lot of base runners, lots of runs, some solid D and some not as solid D. And so Cheeseman will hit for the Eagles against Jack Wibben, who came in and did a good job. He gave up a hit off the shortstop's glove, but then huge strikeouts of Athey and Kerber to get out of a bases loaded jam in the 4th inning. And if Armstrong were to come back and win this one, that would be a sequence that you point at as much as any, I think, for at least what we've seen so far of big situations.
Yeah, I think he came in with runners, 2 runners on and facing the cleanup hitter for Eden Prairie, but got out of the inning with not giving up a run.
Cheeseman knocked one to third last time that Bachmeyer knocked down with a dive and got him at first, but a run scored on the play, so an RBI on that one. Trying to lay down a bunt, but it's going to be foul. Thought he saw an opportunity there with Bachmeyer back and just couldn't keep it along that third base line.
That was a good thought. Well, good speed on that bunt, just on the wrong side of that third base line.
So 2-2 count here. Lifting and fouling out of play down the first base side.
You got some fans with blankets, some fans with shorts and T-shirts. It's some people are refusing to realize that it's about 65 degrees here on June 10th, 12th.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit less than that even.
Yeah,
down
with the wind
to first base. Yeah, definitely. I strongly thought about bringing a blanket here, but decided not to.
At least it's dry. That's a good thing.
And just inside with that one as Wibben had Cheeseman moving his feet there to dance out of the way of that one. So full count here to the leadoff man in the 5th for EP. Knocks it to second. Thorpe playing it on the second hop and throws him out. 1 gone here in the 5th.
Nice job getting that first out of the inning, keeping the leadoff batter off bases, and nice easy ground ball to second base. I say easy, but it was pretty routine compared to most of the stuff we've seen today, and easy throw to first, get the out.
So Josh Wassenaar will be the batter here for Eden Prairie. He has had a walk and a strikeout. Wibben's come in and looked sharp.
Yeah, throwing strikes, getting ahead in the count right away is a big part of being an effective pitcher. And when you have a good breaking ball like he does, it puts you in the driver's seat.
Cut and a miss there.
The other thing he's doing is keeping the ball low in the zone, which is hard for hitters to get around on and drive.
That one gets away from him a little bit. And high and away with that one. So 2-2. And inside with that one. So now the count running full. Parrish on deck here for the Eagles. And lifted foul. They took a 5-1 lead after a 4-run third inning, but Armstrong has battled back. Got a couple of runs in the 4th and one in the 5th to make it a 5-4 game. Lifting this one foul, and it'll get out of play down the right field line.
Good at bat here by Wassenaar to get to. He's seen all the pitches and he's fought off strikes that could have been a strikeout, but here he is with a full count and a chance to get on base.
And that one's in the dirt, and Wassenaar will draw a walk for the 2nd time today. So he's aboard with 1 out, and Parrish will be the batter for Eden Prairie.
Any way you can, that's the goal, is to get on base whatever way you can. If they're not throwing you strikes, take the walk. It's a team game. Let the batters behind you hit you around the bases.
Time taken there by Parrish. Eden Prairie's had 1 stolen base today. So you got Wibben, looks like, as he'll come to first with that one. And popped up, might be playable. Wesner over and makes the catch in front of the Eden Prairie dugout for out number 2. You touched on it earlier, Drew, that there's a lot of room and foul ground here, and this one favors the defense as they've got a lot of space to make a play. You can see he's starting to worry that he's going to run into something, and it reaches that arm out.
Yeah, nice play by the first baseman there to get the out. You know, playing on different fields, usually in high school fields, you know there's not a lot of territory. But when you get to these bigger fields, you know there's more territory, but you don't really know how much more there is. And then you look at the size of the warning track, there's a ton of dirt over there, but did a good job to stay with the ball and get the out.
Ryan Zimmerman, big cut, fouls that one back. Zimmerman, you see, has hit the ball twice to the outfield, fly to right, fly to center after walking in the first. Wibben will throw over there. Wasn't much of a lead established yet by Wassenaar. Flips over there again. You know, the Armstrong staff, they work on that. You know, they definitely feel that holding runners on is part of being a good pitcher. It isn't just what you do with the hitter. Lifted up and could be playable again. Wesner turning around, and he'll make another catch in foul territory here. So he's had a fairly busy day. 3 foul catches and 1 hard liner that got him out of an inning. For Eden Prairie in the 5th, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left aboard. We've played 5 full. It is a 1-run ball game here. Eden Prairie 5 and Armstrong 4.
A Brooklyn Park church received some unwelcome visitors this past weekend.
Volunteers really do have their work cut out for them. They'll be inspecting 23,000 residential lots and city boulevards.
The problem began when the railroad decided to increase the train's speed. In the process, they had to raise a portion of the track over here.
Fire crews got a call around 4 Friday morning from a passerby alerting them to a deck fire.
This time, little lob for Winnicky, trying to go up and get it. Touchdown!
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life.
And welcome back here as you're still in there for Eden Prairie as we head to inning number 6. Michael Arnust will lead it off here for the Falcons. He came in center field when Wibben moved into pitch, so Arnust will be batting for the first time today. .220 average for him so far this season. They're right there, down a run, but only 2 more at bats now. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Armstrong has scored in 3 of the last 4 innings, though, so I certainly no reason for them to feel that it's panic time yet or anything like that. They've got the possibility of scoring some more.
Yeah, I think we've throughout this game we've seen each team go down easily 1 time, and every other inning it's been eventful. Whether it's 1 run or 4 runs or 2 runs, it's even a couple chances for both teams where they had the bases loaded and got themselves, the opposition got themselves out of a jam.
Big cut and a miss. And a swing and a miss, and again it gets off the catcher's glove. Almost every pitch that inning popped out of Clay's glove. He'll throw to first for the out, but he's kind of checking it right now and having trouble squeezing him in this inning.
Yeah, I think 2 or 3 of them popped right out of his glove. Right, he had his mitt right where it needed to be, but popped right out of his glove. He's kind of baffled.
You almost get the feeling, is it a new glove that isn't quite broken in enough? I'm assuming you have to have been using the same one the whole game, though, and it's just problem just popped up now. Nelson is the hitter for Armstrong.
Yeah, he keeps looking over the dugout and wondering if he should get a new glove.
I have to admit, as about a 13, 14-year-old, I had a new first baseman's glove that I just had a terrible time breaking in, and that was happening. You know, you're playing in a game and the ball's popping out of it. That's not good.
You sure it was the glove?
Well, that's a good point, Drew, but yes.
No, the non-traditional gloves, first base gloves, especially at that age when it's first baseman's gloves are such a different shape and larger and heavier on the finger side. It's tough to break them in.
Swing and a miss.
You know, a regular fielder's glove you use all the time, and wherever you go, you have it with you. Whereas a first baseman's glove and a catcher's glove, you're only going to use it when you're in that position. And at that age, you're playing different positions.
Lifted foul down the right field side here by Nelson.
It's not like a bat where you can just switch bats. And, you know, if you switch weights, that's kind of similar where if you switch weights in your bat, that you have to adjust your swing speed and your approach to your swings.
And that one a called strike on the inside corner. And Nelson is caught looking. And Brian Sobiak, you'd like to tell your hitters protect the play, but I think he's not thrilled with the umpiring on that one. Oh, my.
Yeah, that was a tough one. That's tough
inside and at the ankles, and it's still a strike.
Now he's letting them know that letting the batter know that, hey, you got to protect the plate. We're getting late in the game. Every at bat is crucial at this point.
No, I know some watching would say you've got to protect the plate and everything, but how are you going to expect that to be called a strike? That's just a mistake by an umpire. Let's admit it.
I agree, and I think even as a batter, you got to be aware that the umpire is calling that as a strike, and you just got to expand your comfort zone that much more.
Wesner's had a single, and then he was involved in that what's maybe one of the biggest plays of the game when Eden Prairie was able to get a double play. When he tapped one in front of the plate, catcher Clays came up, fired to first, and then they threw back to the pitcher, Binger, covering home, who slapped the tag on the runner coming in to complete a double play.
Yeah, that was, in my opinion, that's the biggest play of the game. And there's so much stuff going on in that play that gets overlooked, that if they don't make everything happen the way they did, they don't get the double play and get themselves in the position to get out of the inning.
Foul tip there, Wesner hanging in.
And you and I were talking a little bit about it earlier that, you know, you could second guess coaching. Do you send the runner? Do you make that happen? But that's what Armstrong does. That's how they win games, is they force the issue. They try to make things happen. And, you know, Eden Prairie just did a great job of executing that play and getting the outs that they needed to. Had they scored the run, we would have been saying great coaching, send the runner, get the run across.
Hard hit ball, and that will be over shortstop and into left center. Jake Wesner getting a 2-out single here for the Falcons. And I think we're probably going to see a pinch hitter here for Reed in the 9th spot here.
Good solid hit, perfect placement between the center fielder and the shortstop. Get that runner on. See if they can make anything happen with 2 outs.
Mike Saseski is going to be the pinch hitter. Saseski, 281 hitter this year. 4 doubles, 5 runs batted in. Comes up in a key spot here. Runner at first, 2 outs in the 6th, and takes a strike. Boy, if you're Armstrong, you're tempted to try and steal into scoring position here, but yeah, a little tapper and Binger will drop it. Throw to first base, though, is still in time to get Saseski. So the inning ends. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left aboard. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Eden Prairie hanging on to a 1-run lead.
Hi, I'm here to tell you about a new medical website designed especially for older folks. Website, you say? I can't work on computers. They're not senior friendly, blah, blah, blah. But the National Institutes of Health fixed all that. Now you can make the type bigger, increase contrast, even make it talk to you.
Arthritis.
Just go to NIHseniorhealth.gov and get the best medical information available anywhere. NIHseniorhealth.gov. Built with you in mind.
Jack Wibben getting set to face the 2, 3, 4 spots in the order for Eden Prairie. Binger, Clays, and Sullivan.
Wibben's come in and looked really good this afternoon, and be nice boost for the Falcons if he can get a 1-2-3 inning at the heart of the Eden Prairie order and put Armstrong in a position to come back and tie this game in the top of the 7th.
Binger, a hard one hopper to third. Bachmeyer, a long throw, and he gets him. I was going to say Binger maybe hasn't had quite the day that he would have liked pitching-wise, but he's been a clutch hitter. 2 for 3 before that one, including a double that scored a run in the first. And you see Bachmeyer, nice strong throw across.
Nice job by Bachmeyer. Bachmeyer, that high hop, put him in a tough spot, and he knew he had to rush to get that ball over there and threw it right on a line to get the out.
Clay's the hitter. Looks at a breaking ball for a strike. Ooh, and back up the middle. That one's going to get through for a base hit. Hit the ball hard right over the mound there. And Clays has his 2nd hit of the day, and he will undoubtedly be run for again by Simmer.
Wibben thought he had a chance. He was just outside of his reach, and ball hit solidly up the box to get the runner down to first.
So Sullivan will be the batter now. He's 2 for 3 today. Eden Prairie, you know, they'd like to get at least one insurance run here to feel a little bit more comfortable. Armstrong's been on their heels, but hasn't been able to catch up after that 4-run 3rd inning for Eden Prairie. Fouled down the right field line. Looks like the guys for the next game making their way, getting ready, and Matamidi and Lakeville South. And a swing and a miss.
Yeah,
but we talked about Armstrong being a slow starting team and a little bit of a underdog getting here. How about Lakeville South?
That's got to be one of the better stories that this state tournament's seen for quite some time. I mean, there's two wins in the regular season, and here they are at state, and what a fun time for them. That must be, and for the community of Lakeville, having both North and South here at the state tournament.
Although not to rain on their parade, but convenient that they have them in 2 different sections. One city and you're not in the same sections. A little hard to figure, but had him leaning a little bit there, but Wesner was off the bag a bit. So chased them back. lifted foul and out of play. I know there's always been a little bit, maybe more than a little bit of debate too about the one high school versus two high school thing. Eden Prairie and Wayzata are the prime examples, I guess, that people point to of communities that have elected to keep one massive high school rather than going to two like the Lakeville schools did and some others. Osseo schools, of course, a few years back, more than a few years back now, added Maple Grove, and Okehennepin added a fifth school. And
yeah, Eden Prairie is a really, really large school. I remember growing up across the street from where their baseball field is right now, and it was all cornfields when I was a kid. And the thing that Eden Prairie's been dealing with is that they have all these other schools around them that have already developed in Chaska, Chanhassen, and as they do, Eden Prairie continues to grow at the same time, and they just, I don't know, there's no reason for them to split if they don't want to.
Time called here by the hitter Sullivan.
They have excellent youth programs in such a wide variety of sports, whether it's lacrosse, football, basketball, baseball, hockey. I mean, they're always up there.
Runner going and pitch outside, so Sullivan draws a walk, and now 2 on with 1 out for Eden Prairie. And Athey will be the batter now for the Eagles.
That's why I think it's fun to see schools like Armstrong, where they have these big schools right next to them, like a Wayzata, and Hopkins draws a lot of really good athletes. But it's fun to see schools like Armstrong come in here and compete and put together great seasons like they do.
Yeah, it's been an interesting switch you see around the Twin Cities. I mean, 15 years ago, to call Armstrong a big underdog in any type of thing would have been silly. They were one of the better programs around, but times change a little bit, demographics change, school populations rise and fall, and
yeah, it's definitely been hard to follow, stay tied to a conference, and you always have your school allegiance, but conferences are schools are changing conferences are folding or switching, or new ones develop, and rivalries continue to evolve through that process.
Athey ripping that one up high and out of the zone, 1-2. Wibben certainly would like to get a strikeout here and keep those runners right where they're at, get that second out, but Athey has other ideas. And he will ask for time here.
Wibben has a tendency to move fast, and I think that's what keeps him in a rhythm. And Eden Prairie's been taking time a few times and not letting him get comfortable and let him dictate the pace of the game.
To first, Wesner will go to second, and the relay throw is in time, and they turn a 3-6-1-3 double play to get out of the inning. So Armstrong will have one more at bat for Eden Prairie in the 6th. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left aboard.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
E-File. Get receipt confirmation and a quicker refund. Log on or tell your tax preparer to e-file for you and join the 53 million e-filers who consider it done.
Welcome back here to Midway Stadium, and Armstrong's first baseman, Dick Wesner, has been kind of the defensive star of the game, helping to start that double play. And scampering back to cover the bag as well, and he's had some foul ball catches and catcher of a line. He's probably, you don't normally think of first base as one of the most important defensive positions, but he's been big today. Corey Gilbert stepping in. One more chance for Armstrong. Top of the 7th inning. They're down 5-4, and Binger still out there on the mound for Eden Prairie.
You know, down 1 this point in the game. This is what Armstrong, where they want to be in their lineup. See if they can make it happen.
And a solid single to lead it off for Gilbert as he knocks it into center field for a hit. I'm going to say the leadoff guy in this type of situation is just crucial. If you get him and you're the D, then you're feeling great. You're only 2 outs away. But if you get on, you're the offensive team, boy, then the possibilities are there.
Yeah, great start for Armstrong. Leadoff man on, and it's one of your best base runners, best hitters, smartest baseball players out there.
Pitch in the dirt there, taken for a ball here by Thorpe.
You want to make sure he doesn't get too confident and run himself out of a base here. He wants to be aggressive, but not too aggressive. And you know, the emotions, the energy's running high at this point in the game.
Thorpe not showing bunt there, fouls a pitch back.
Got a good hack. He saw that ball pretty well. He wanted to jump all over it, but fouled it back over the screen here.
Throw to first base. Gilbert, a panic dive back there. And pitch low and away, 2 balls and a strike. Throw to first, and Gilbert able to get back in.
Yeah, good job by Gilbert. Force that throw over there, because if Armstrong's MO is to make things happen. If that ball gets by the first baseman, you have a good chance for getting all the way over to third.
A little soft tapper. They're going to have to go to first. Nice play made there by Zimmerman. It will get the runner Gilbert up to second, though, as Thorpe grounds out, or a little tap out at.
Great base running by Gilbert, too. I mean, because that ball is in no man's land. You can't tell if the pitcher's going to get it or if the shortstop's going to catch it on a fly, and you don't want to get doubled up. But a nice play by Zimmerman to charge it in, throw the off-balance throw over to first to get the out.
Yeah, even from up where we are, it was hard to tell for sure if it was going to go over the pitcher's head or not. So Ouellette will hit, runner in scoring position and 1 out. And a little nubber off the end of the bat, foul. So you get the runner over to second any way you can there, and you obviously, in an ideal world, if you're Armstrong, you also beat that out, but you'll take that, getting him to second with 1 out. Give your 3-4 hitters each a chance to bat.
Yep, that's what you want to do. You want to get that runner down to second, get him in scoring position.
Pitch taken for a ball there by Ouellette. I think it's been a good showing for Armstrong here today. I mean, they're not coming here for a moral victory. They came here to win, but I think, with a young team and probably considered an underdog certainly coming in, I think they've definitely shown well, but now they want to take that next step and actually win the ball game. Lifted out to center field. Going to be playable, and Gilbert will have to retreat to second, so 2 outs. Gasner makes the catch, and that'll leave it up to Matt Bachmeyer. Ouellette hit the ball fairly well, but just right at the center fielder.
Yeah, Jay, you touched on it just a little bit ago that, Armstrong may be a little bit of an underdog coming in against Eden Prairie 9 times at the state tournament. They've won the Legion tournament during the summer. They're a baseball powerhouse. Armstrong has been on a roll. They've had a great season, and they put up a great fight, and they're in the position here to tie the game with 1 swing of the bat.
Bachmeyer hit that liner that wasn't handled and left to a double for an RBI in the 5th. There's a strike.
Huge pitch for Binger there to get ahead in the count at this point in the game.
Strike 2, and now Bachmeyer will have to be protecting up there.
Anything you can do to you don't want to go down swinging, or you don't want to go out looking. Tough spot. Binger is definitely in the driver's seat in this situation.
Trying to get him to chase something up high there. And 1-2 count here. And a swing and a miss. They'll have to go to first on the ball in the dirt, and there's the out recorded. And Bachmeyer is out on strikes, and Eden Prairie hangs on for the win, as that 4-run third inning is enough to hold them. Armstrong in the 7th, no runs, 1 base hit, no errors, and they leave 1 in scoring position here. So Drew, an entertaining ball game here. Wasn't always artistic, not everything perfectly done here, but good baseball game. Eden Prairie showing why they've had such a strong year, but Armstrong stayed right with them, fought right with them all the way down, and they'll get a chance to play again in the consolation bracket.
Yeah, a great game for Armstrong. And, you know, we talked about the one double play that Eden Prairie churned with the runner at home, and had the run score, we would have said great base running, great coaching. But that's what Armstrong does. They win or lose by making the defense force them to make the plays. And Eden Prairie just happened to make that big play that got them out of that jam. And it was a huge run that they kept off the board. And they go on to win 5-4, and a good outing by their pitcher, Binger, to get the win.
So congratulations to the Eagles and Armstrong as well for a great season, as they again move into the consolation bracket on Friday. And we hope you've enjoyed not only this telecast, but our spring sports season on 12 Sports again as well. For Drew Keogh and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. So long from Midway Stadium, where Eden Prairie defeats Armstrong 5-4.